Hello. Well, let me put it on camera. 1 second. Hey. Oh, as you can see, nothing's really changed here. But thing is, I have been gone from the stream for quite a while, and I know I was going to do it every day, but that is not something I wish to do under any circumstances. But um, yeah. But if anybody needs to ask me any questions during the stream or have any questions otherwise after the stream, you can contact me. My email is in the information below. If you do have any questions about anything that I post or anything that I do, um, most of my content is not copyrighted for any reason or for a good reason, actually. More so, I find the things that people create more interesting than the things that other people sort of make beforehand. Because why make it even more and why why copy other people's stuff other than to learn? It is a good learning way. It is a good way to learn, and I will show you many different things like let's see, disembodied. No, there we go. So I use things like this for whenever I'm drawing, just so that I can get reference, just a little bit. Uh, it would still be nice to have someone that I could actually uh, talk to. But no, I've been mostly just surviving off of my house. I grow gardens. I grow a garden in my yard, but I don't think that's what you're here for. The thing is, for what I do and what I really want to accomplish is to actually be self-supported on basically drawing my own stuff through through this iPad device, XP Pen tablets. Uh, the document scanner does help a little bit whenever I'm trying to scan all my different things, like all my sketchbooks. And of course, you can't be an artist without a sketchbook. And, well, you can be. You'll be a digital artist, but you'll have less paper everywhere. It may be cheaper in the long run, but the thing is, you can't go back so easily because if the file is deleted, then it is gone forever, and you don't, and you can't deal with it. Uh, but the let me our return. Just wait 1 moment. Start it. Can, oh, there we go. Sorry, I had to get my stuff. I do have an art room, and eventually I will show that to everybody on this channel. Um, but for my live streams, what they're supposed to implement is just to get people interested and understand what I do. So, this is one of my paintings. I don't have much good light in here, but I do physical artwork. So I do paintings like this, and here you go, and like this. Oops. But these are the paintings that I've been working on for the past couple of, well, I actually finished all the dog paintings in one day, which was crazy in its own right. This took me a long time to finalize because I was still trying to look for what exactly I wanted for it to be and how I wanted to portray it. And it turned out quite well, actually. Uh, so I have that, have the wolf, and I have the fox. Right now I'm not going to teach anybody how to paint because that is, actually I will eventually, it's just, everything's always a work in progress, isn't it? And whenever I do something, just one second. Alright, so whenever I do something I usually sketch it out, but for those for painting I do it in a different way than most people do, is I just block out every step of the way. And those, I will show those in a video coming up. There will be another video about another cat that I did on a wood panel this time. And everything turned out the way that I would suspect it to. Sorry, had something in my throat. But, of course, and I feel a lot better than I used to because I no longer work at a normal day-to-day job, and I've been trying to get people and clients towards my initiative of painting for them, like pet portraits and landscapes and, well, houses. But if you do want something painted that is female, I can do it. I can also do males. It's just I need 3 angles of anything that I have, and whenever I paint anything, it's not going to exactly be what you think it is until the end. So the final product is always going to be what you think it will be, but it'll be I see everything in a 3-dimensional space whenever I paint it, draw it, anything. Of course, when I'm painting from my mind, my mind directly defaults to portraits of females in the categories of millions upon billions of different types of females throughout elves and, well, furry features like cat ears, dog ears, tail, demons, yada yada. But still, for most of the things I do point them out, and this is of the comic that I'm actually trying to do, as most of them are, and some are just things for my cards. I do like to sketch things down on paper, day to day and time to time, because, well, it does help. And whenever you're planning anything, it helps to do anything like that. So let me actually show you exactly. Here's one of my pencil drawings, but hey, it's October, so let's get into it. So the first thing of what people normally do is either have an iPad device or even, well, if they're rich enough, they have it. Well, now you don't even have to be very rich to even own any and a lot of different things. Because electronics aren't a luxury as much anymore, but they are. I'm just more I am fortunate because people end up handing me electronics like candy. It's like, you're the tech guy, right? Sure. Well, here's a computer. Here you go. No. I do get free stuff from time to time. I also get things on bargain deals that I find before anybody else even has time to even look for the thing. Some things like gaming, for the retro gaming things. Uh, yeah. Some things like the retro gaming things, I actually received GameCube games that were worth about 40 to $50 at that time for $1 a piece. And it's like, well, it, sometimes people just get lucky, and I'm just one of those people who ends up with a lot more fortune. I end up in the right situation where I can support myself, but I do wish that people would make it a point to contact me to do pet portraits, uh, landscapes, and even just paintings that they may like. But I will not do anything that has a copyrighted content of someone else's channel. I can characterize you in a way that is different than what you would think, but I cannot. I will not copyright anything for. I won't paint anything that has copyright associated to it because I do not want to deal with the legal battle, and it will end up costing me more than it will cost them, which is unfortunate in all these circumstances. But hey, what can you do? But let's get back to drawing, and actually let's start in a different way. I'm going to be doing these quite differently, and willing to be a little bit more loony than what everyone tends to actually see me as on this channel, because I'm finally back to myself. And what is myself? Yeah, everybody asks, what what are you? Who am I? How how am ah, sorry, we all get that every so often. We do stutter over words, but I tend to sort of wander off in my own direction. uh, but the reason why I'm back to normal and why I say I'm back to normal is because I finally understand the sensitive matter and the importance of sort of slight bit of pressure, but at the same time importance to the daily lives of interacting with people and communicating with others, even though you do not talk to them day to day. And I wish to just support myself on my art, well, art and art-based things, because I do wish to make 3 comics. I have one comic um, partially written down, actually only 1/millionth of the story written down, even though I know from the beginning to the end, and all the characters just fill themselves in. I still have to draw everything out, but I will not show that on this channel. I will start showing things on my Patreon, and if you do wish to support me, even $1 a month per person, even if it's a couple of people every so often, just helps. And I'm trying to make this so that I do not have to go to a 9 to 5 or every, well, 10 to 10 to it's not really 9 to 5 for me. Whenever you deal with any print shop or anything like that, it is not 9 to 5. You end up being there from around 11 to 9 or 11 to 8. It is not a 9 to 5 job by any means. Still, if you have a good environment, then don't quit it. But the thing is, if it only stresses you out, then do find other plans and other locations to actually move forward towards the goal that you wish to set in your life, and support people that really do need it. And the thing is, I wish to survive off my art, not have someone direct it into a direction that ends up in a black hole that, sorry, a little bit more so dark, but I've always been dark ever since I've been little. Alright, let's get back to everything. Let's see. There we go. Alright. So, testing. Mike, hello? Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright, so, whenever someone starts drawing, they just go like this. Whoops. And sorry about the camera movement. It does make some people sick, but sometimes people just start out just drawing. Sometimes with circle, and I'll zoom in just so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Document cameras do help quite a bit, so that is one of the things that I do prefer whenever I draw anything physically. But so what someone normally does is they draw the outline, they do a cross pattern, but whenever you're drawing, you do stick with shapes. So rectangles, squares, the neck is basically one big rectangle. It is where you usually start off. Then the eyes. The eyes are ovals that have sharp points at the end. And depending on which type of eye you're trying to do, they do have either a rounder eye or a if you're doing anime, it's more of a round shape than a temple than realistic. I'd go more of in between realistic drawing and, well, the simplicities of just drawing. And whenever you're drawing, you have to sort of keep in the direction of what you're trying to do. And of course, everything's all about learning. You just have to make sure that what you're thinking about is what you're actually drawing. And of course, I'm not going to copy this and put this on another page or paper. But yeah, it is one of the steps when drawing to go in the way that you wish to start your drawing. So if you wish to sort of create a creature or create some sort of facade within the character, or even just make it so that the drawing itself is part of the facade. But hey, everybody is doing a facade of some sort. I'm just now getting out of that type of facade, whatever it may be. And everyone has different opinions on everything in life. So just be careful on that. And most people can't draw from their mind, and I understand that too. I do have moments where I too do not have any sort of opinion on people's minds. And all my sketches, the reason why I draw them in a certain way, and even if I mess up, it actually makes sort of a nice effect sometimes. So, so you have to be very, very careful whenever you're. I'm doing this all with pen, but the reason why I use Bic pens for this is because they are cheap and they act like a pencil. So, let me zoom out. But yeah, and there we go. We have a semi sort of finished sketch, but each one of my sketches is different. I don't draw the same person every single time, which drawing the same person every single time is quite a bit harder. So let's go back to the main screen and let me actually show you what I'd be doing. Well, not what I'd be doing, more of how to actually draw from Photoshop. Clip Studio does work well, but the thing is, you actually only have to have the main screen as the drawing screen, and I don't like that. It has some issues that still need to be ironed out. They did release a new version, 2.2, and I could upgrade that for about $50, and be nice if, well, I have enough money to survive. Don't have enough money to sort of continue surviving like this, but that only puts things closer to what I'm trying to do. But let's go forward and set forth. Alright, let's see. Let's go to the tablet screen. Okay. So from Photoshop, actually, let me show you exactly what happens whenever I choose. Not Moho, not Motion Artist, not Clip Studio. That. Oh, fuck's it. Let's see, what other programs do I have on here? So, I'm using Photoshop mostly because it is easier to use for drawing, but there's one other program that I've been trying to figure out how to test very well. Might as well just test it on stream. More so the fact that it does have issues. Oh, let me force quit on that, sorry. Let's see, Affinity Photo 2. It's better to have more recent version because there are issues. But it's also good to have the previous version because there are issues. But enough of that. So while that's loading, let's just create something new on. So let's create a 9x9 inch square. So when drawing, and as you know, I do draw with the XP Pen tablet to interact with all my stuff. And I do have to understand that if I do an update, I also have to delete the driver and then I have to reinstall it. Mac has some glaring issues with that, and I do not wish to deal with those at the moment, so I try not to install a new version of the OS because it can have some issues. So let's go to brush. And of course you see a lot of lag. Okay, a little better. Alright, so the flow is 56. I need it at 100%. So let's see. Also need to adjust the sensitivity. Let's see. Poser, no. Peas. Right there. Pin tablet. There we go. So, yeah, there is a problem. There's always a problem. And that changed. Here we go. We need to change that to that. Alright. And yeah, that's a little bit more natural. Good. Alright, so whenever I'm drawing anything, and it's usually not this slow, but I don't know, I kind of feel like a night, but I was mostly waiting for that to actually finish loading. So for this, there are many different things that have many different opportunities to them. I tend to go towards the 9x12 because it is more of a standard size that you can actually find at any art store. I usually put the DPI to higher than the max of what it actually says for any program. Always do what your computer can do. It does limit to exactly what you're trying to do. And every stream is a little bit different. Alright, so let's go to brush. And I cannot draw. Or can I? As you can see, the issue whenever I'm streaming, so it's like I'm moving the mouse around, but do you see that it's not sort of responding the way it should? A good thing for abstract piece, but no, don't save. Affinity 2, let's quit that so that I have a little bit more resources. We'll do a clean because I kind of need more resources. There, okay. A little bit better. It's best not to have multiple drawing programs go at once. So what type of character am I trying to draw? Sometimes you kind of have to sketch it. Okay. Sometimes it acts like that. So let's see. We're trying to do a metal-like jaw. Sometimes just drawing everything out in sort of blocks and patterns helps with sort of figuring out what you're trying to go towards. And sometimes what you're going for is not exactly what you want to strive for. And because it is Halloween, I will be drawing scary things. So be very wary of what I'm drawing, because I will not draw normal things during the October season. And I know I've been gone for quite a while, so good enough. of course, I draw monsters better than I draw anything else. Because, in retrospect, we all act like monsters, even though we do not wish to act like monsters. It's just how society ends up making us. Okay. Eraser. There we go. Just making sure. But sometimes my sketches are better than my final pieces, which is kind of funny sometimes. It's like, I'm gonna keep it a sketch. Mostly because it looks like something that would work very well. We'll call him Ralph. No. Let's give him sort of a look of treatment that sort of fits his personality. And I am a digital artist by every means forth, and the reality of it is I prefer scary stuff during scary seasons sometimes, or whenever I'm feeling a little down and out. Sorry. That's just my laugh. And I can change my laugh periodically. It is one of the things that I love about myself. Not very many people can say that either. Kind of sad, but them's the breaks for reality, isn't it? And that's mostly why people try to escape reality. I try to. I can't. I try to escape reality as much as humanly possible, but the thing is, on those circumstances, that's not even possible for me, because even when I'm not keeping track of reality, I keep track of reality, even though I don't want to. It is just something that I tend to do, because I have always, and because of that, I tend not to go towards any version of my sensible reason. Well, sensible is objective. I could be many different things, and I do remember all points of my childhood. Well, more of the important points, but of course this live stream is going to be quite different, and I've repeated that at least 3 different times. As you can see, my head's not here. And let's see. Ralphie, zero chord, jantut, parakita, meritun taramatuna barakantela tinintala, tarisula verita. Aniti siretramecta. Nantia saretramatarai kunta, shietota, vanitunt, aginitino revertman directis. Sorry. A little bit of Diffrain in me. Of course, you don't know what Diffrain is. It's more of a language that I remember, I can't forget, unless certain elements and foreshadow points in my life are set in motion, yada yada. But let's see, we're trying to make it so that this sort of looks electronic. You go in, you look at the device, well, you look at the model. Sometimes you just have to get your creative juices flowing whenever you're drawing doing anything whatsoever. And most people don't create characters out of thin air, but sometimes I find inspiration in the things that are not inspiring. Because I've gotten bored with everything, and I do love everybody's different types of looks on life, their different stories, all that stuff. It all looks interesting to me. Well, everything is always interesting to me. It has been a crux as well as an advantage in my life. But I do love to draw. I do love to paint. I do wish to live off of those things. And the thing is, most people do not see me as an artist, a painter. Well, they didn't see me as an artist or a painter. They just saw me someone working 9 to 5 or something like that. And of course, I draw things freehand. And whenever you're drawing things freehand, you kind of have to make sure that... Yeah, don't want to erase that. Back to pen. Good. You have to make sure that when you're drawing freehand, you match up the other side with the reasonable side that needs to show the parts of what you're drawing. It doesn't have to be exactly even, but it has to be close enough to where no one's going to notice. So, and my philosophy of art is make everything perfect, but make it also imperfect. Make it so that people who wish to find the imperfections find the imperfections, but to the extent that they can find the imperfections. So, it really depends on how you define imperfections. Sorry. All of this is always going to be a rant. And can you blame me, though? Let's see. We start with skeleton. Then we do stick. Then we do another. Everything, as you can see, a lot of things that define a body are just blocks. And depending on how you actually make your characters or anything like that, you can actually just define them with blocks and shapes and all of that stuff. You don't need all this figuring out of how to draw things. Well, except this channel is sort of built upon that. And I do know many different things of programming and all that. I've been ripping all my media that I own, that I possess in hand, to actually, more so or less, to actually archive all my physical media into digital media so that I can actually watch it and it doesn't just sit on the shelf forever. I don't remember putting a timer on there, but okay. Somehow I hit the timer and I now have 35 minutes left. But I don't know. There's an hour timer on here. But and I have gotten all my artwork that I do down to 2 hours and 30 minutes. give or take a couple of minutes or so. But, and I didn't even try, but I got it down to that, and I could paint a 16 by 20 painting in 2 hours and 30 minutes. Of course, if it's any other medium, I can't do that because I've actually learned the ins and outs of all the different types of, how to use acrylic in so many different ways. So let's see. I kind of like the grittiness, don't you? But every so often you do have to clean things up on your artwork. That looks a lot better. I may end up scuffing him up a little bit, but because don't you think that looks better than that? Well, everything's always suggestive. So, yeah, can't speak. Mine's here, neither near there nor anywhere really. But I'm back. I'm going to be doing this 3 days a week. There are some weeks where I'll be doing it more than not. So let's see. Now that we have the shape of what we want to draw, we fill it. And kind of need eraser, pen. There we go. So when you're using this, you might want to have a larger pen, just so that. And there are many people who put out masks and all that stuff. I'm not one of those people. So I don't mask anything out. I go through the hard work of just making it so that all my stuff is just filled. Of course, Clip Studio does have a nice masking tool. I do wish to use that in the future. I do need a more powerful machine for that. An M1 Mac or an M2 Mac, those are expenses that I do not have. I do know the price of everything that I own, what it costs when I bought it. I keep track of that in my head. I should. You know how bored I get, though. But everybody's saddled with boredom and all that. But I tend to go to the extreme. So now that we have it, alright, so the first thing that we need to do is find a better gray. And we're going to do something that, okay, good. Okay, don't want that. We want that above that. So in order to deal with multiple different things, of course I have my own brush. This brush is a lot different than what normal people would have, but it's more for drawing hair, and it's a little bit harder to deal with. There are good brushes that you can find out there. The charcoal brush is always a good brush to use whenever you're trying to scuff up certain things. But whenever you're using a bunch of different other types of brushes, they do have issues. And the issue that I have whenever I'm dealing with any different and other type of brush, other than the fact that it does look cool, you kind of have to add the grit. And grit is in green. Let's add some green. just to get him slightly resting, but not really. A little bit of reddish brown. But yeah, more so on the fact that not everything is part of a free program. I just use everything that I've gone throughout my life and have been sort of scraping by on all the different types of electronics. But I even remember the days where a pen tablet display did not exist. The XP days. Yeah, I don't like drawing with a mouse. It hurts my hand way too much. So whenever I saw a pen tablet display, can I have that? There, I know they existed during the XP days, but they were expensive, and I'm not paying that. Yeah, the world has made them to be utterly and absurd, well, just absurd prices everywhere you look. But I know that's actually come down in the fact that not very many things do. Alright. I wanted to draw something different this time, so whoever watches this in the future, hook me up. But we'll see. I did put this out last minute, well, at the last moment, really. And I can always just put this here, and then just make it so that that fits in that, and then I don't have to redraw it as much. So there are many ways to draw all these different types of creatures, objects, anything and everything of your heart's desire. No nudity on, no nudity on normal things, but I'm more of a person who doesn't really care if there's nudity or not, but at the same time, there is a time and place for it. Sometimes you just need to draw it, just because you just have those feelings that just are pent up, and you need some release of some sort of way. So you can't just say, nope, doesn't work that way. Not everything does. And let's see. For normal, dissolve, multiply. Let's see. What looks best? Subtraction, overlay. Overlay doesn't look bad, but burn, darken. Multiply is always the better one. Dissolve, normal. Let's just stick with normal. Put it on a different opacity just so that it's not so noticeable. But yeah. And many people will probably ask, so why did you start drawing? Well, to to express my opinion. Why else? Why else would I start drawing? Actually, there are many other reasons. Scratch that. No. I started drawing because of the fact that I needed to be acknowledged, and the easiest and best way for me to do that was through drawing. Of course, not everybody can understand many different parts of their lives, because even I have a hard time just following my own advice. So, just be careful. Everyone is quite different than what they seem sometimes. But even though it may have started from something dark, yes, I said something dark, of sorrow, pain, the thing is, how you deal with it is more of what makes it part of something. Good. A little bit of a silhouette. Kind of like it. And it looks like the drawing that I suspected. Alright. So the gritty nature of this, we're going to redraw it again. Well, I am. You're going to do nothing. You're going to watch. Well, if you are watching. So let's see. Turn up the opacity so I can get rid of some of these. But I love drawing. I love painting. I love doing all that stuff. If I could not draw, if I could not paint, that would more or less break my heart in some way, form, or fashion. Because it'd still be crushing to me that I couldn't draw, paint, express myself in some sort of way. But sorry about that. No, I would go towards a different direction. I would not be an artist. I'd be a technical engineer, dealing with electronics, finding out solutions to understand my own language. I'm still trying to do that. I have too many talents, too many hobbies. It will actually take thousands of years for me to compile my language, just by how complicated it is. Well, say my language, but it's not really my language. More of a language that I remember. Not really any more, not really anything less. But I still would like to make it so that there's an algorithm out there that can actually understand it. Because If I give it to a computer at this point in time, and I will absolutely try to say, please decipher this, and it'll say, what, what? uh, I'm missing a lot of information. Can you give me anything else? Sorry, not really. It'll more or less struggle to even find the common ground of it, which I will find it absolutely funny in my own right. So, there's that. I do enjoy pain, but not so much in the form that it can damage someone's life. That pain should never be shared. Ever. But those are more of my thoughts on that. Well, pain can be shared, but do it safely. Sympathy goes so far that it can destroy you as well as the person that you're trying to help. So be very, very, very careful on that. Alright, tone this down. 49%, that works. Alright, let's get to tracing again. Yay. It's a process. All of it's a process. Alright, let's get back to the brush. Go back to normal. So, whenever you're drawing or doing anything, you kind of have to understand, what do you want to draw? What do you want to actually show in your drawing? And how do you want to show it? Sometimes they're different colors, different shades. I'm going to try something different with my artwork this time. Because I think it might actually improve quality of what I'm trying to do with this. And we got second eye. First eye. I'm gonna erase that. There we go. Alright. I'm just going to use two different shades. Because I think this will actually make the artwork pop a little bit more. Everyone has their own fixations, their own desires. They should follow what they want to do, not what people tell them to do. But I don't say quit your jobs, because everyone's job is very important, whether people think it is or not. Because even though you may hate your job, it is what gets you day by day. It is what informs you, what keeps your desires rolling and running, to the extent that you can live and say, I achieved what I wished to achieve. And my day was not put to waste. Of course, I feel kind of bad in some sort of sense that I know I'm making a lot of people sort of sad and angry because of the fact that I no longer work in a certain place anymore. They're not really sad or disappointed. They're more of, where is he? I need his help. Uh, I, I understand. But I am only a person. I do need help myself. Even whenever I'm taking forth a normal job, we all need help. Where's my help when I needed it? But not everybody can ask for it. This is one of the things that tends to be overlooked by many different individuals and many different people from time to time in different ways and different points of view. But what can you do? You're only human. There's only so much a human can do. And only so much something that's programmed to do can do. Because we're just as bad as any program in some way or shape or form. We just need to be very careful on how we do what we do. Of course, I'm not saying that there's going to be a robot uprising or anything like that. This does look like a robot. But it's not a robot. It's far worse. It's us. No. Many things end up as other things. Just be very careful. And I will actually finish what I draw this time, rather than just stop. There, that works. Alright, so let's see. We need a little bit of rust on him. Let's go to the reddish orange. There we go. Start drawing a little bit there. A little bit. Actually, can't be in the same place. Too much repetition does hurt everything. What just happened? I saw a blink. Did it stop? Nope, nope. So let's see. There we go. There are many different things that people go for, just trying to figure out what actually is going on. What is going on with life, though? You'll never know until you actually look for it. Okay. Is that all the... Yeah, that's the outline, give or take. I'm gonna do this on a separate layer. There we go. Let me play some music. I know I normally play my own music. Alright. Alright, let's go out. There we go. Sorry, even my own music I get tired of. But I am trying to create many different things, many different stories. Of course, those are always in progress. And I've been saying that for the last 4 years. But the thing is, everything takes time to realize, more so than complicate anything after that. It's always about realization. Let's see, I'll make this light like that. And like that. There we go. The robot is almost done. Well, it looks a lot better than I originally had it, so there's that. There's that. I kind of like the roughness. Adds a little bit more of a je ne sais quoi. And let's erase some of this down here. Same thing with the other stuff. Put it back to pen. Alright. And brush. And back up. Yeah, okay, back up to the top layer, yeah. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a down. There we go. Makes it look a little bit nicer. Yeah, that looks better. Alright, let's see. There we are. Most people would say I've gone slightly insane, but hey. Sanity is for the people who can't afford it. I'm just an artist, struggling day by day, surviving off of the many scraps that I've received. Well, not so much scraps. I still have crypto. As much as it helps me out, it doesn't help me out. I wish it did. There are many different things that I wish would happen, like a DEX for all mining algorithms. Cannot speak today, can I? Where it has everything listed on an exchange built on built on a blockchain that is a multi-chain, that actually makes it so that it spreads the DEX through not just its own chain, but has a DEX for Bitcoin on its chain, Litecoin on its chain, and you can intermingle and exchange it for not tokens, actual cryptocurrency coins. It's another project that I really wish would hit it. Well, I wish it would hit the ground running, because it is one of the things that, if it exists in reality, it can be made. I do not know why that's flashing. And we're gonna do this. Go. We're going to give this a slight two-tone look. So let's see. We're going to do shadows in a different way this time. We're going to have shadows as something like that. But in a more, actually no. We're just gonna white it out. We'll use a lot of shiny products. Well, not really shiny. Just put that to 0. Put this up a little bit. There we go. And then pressure sensitivity. Good, good. Alright, needs to be larger. 1400. It should be big enough for this small zone. So let's see. And you kind of have to be understanding that this will not work for everything out there. Of course. We're just doing this as a proof of concept for right now. Whoops. Time's up. Alright. Enough of that. Let's see. Okay. We got that. Bring it down a bit. Add the shading underneath it. Right? Right. We kind of need this at a lower opacity. There we go. There we go. Okay. Oops. Not that either. And this. That. This. Oops. That's basically alarms going on left and right, aren't they? Okay. And then this. That. And getting a little harder. Sometimes you just need a little bit in every direction to get out that sense of wonder and amazement, right? Let's there we go. That didn't turn out very well. I'm gonna take out that. I'm gonna do something different there. Way too big, way too big, way too big. And stuff around there. That's better. And let's put this back down to normal size. That's normal enough. Okay. Turn off the opacity. Take it off of soft. there are many different types of characters that people want to create, want to sort of discover on their own. I'm just trying to make it so that what I do gets creative juices flowing. And this is mostly just meant for the Halloween season. I love drawing anything and everything that I can look forward to. So, there's that too. Okay, and red. Add that. Most things that I do are just odd. But I do everything with a little bit of purpose in life. I follow the options that are laid down before me. And with that, I understand my own reality. Let's see. There we go. We have a similar eye-looking thing. So we add a dot. Oops. Not meant to do that. There we go. I kind of like the softness. It adds a little bit more of a realistic look. Let's add a second dot there. A nice robot with kind eyes. Kind of makes you feel sad. There's someone trapped behind there. You must get him free. Yeah. You can try. What people don't quite understand is most things out there actually think others as abominations rather than anything else. There we go. Kind of looks okay. Kind of. I like the eyes better than I like the anything else. Shadows work very well. But I kind of feel like I should also add one more thing. And it is the outline. Because the gray doesn't do it for me. The gray only gets it halfway there. But I still want to show the gray. Oops. Let's put that back on hard. opacity changing with that. There we go. And then we retrace it for the final time. Sometimes multiple different steps of this do help something look a lot better than what someone initially would have intended it to look like. Sometimes you need the outline just to define your own characters that you draw, just because it needs that extra step. And sometimes it doesn't, but it always really just depends on what you're drawing, how you draw it. If you draw it right, you will not have to retrace it. But it looks better that way, doesn't it? Everything's part of a learning process. No matter if you've done something for quite a while, or if you're just starting out drawing, it is all a learning step. It depends on how you actually interact with your sort of learning of all this. That makes it more proactive, more viable, and more beneficial to the people around you. Why do I do the things that I do? Simple. We fall in love to do what we love to do. And if anybody wants to know about my next event, it'll be December 5th. In not Terrell, not Rockwall, but it will be in Longview, 2 hours from Terrell, if that gives you any reference. If you live in the state of Texas or not. I do not care people knowing where I live, because they probably already don't know, and they've always known. So I try not to hide it. There's no point to hiding it. Security and all that. If anybody wanted to know where I actually am, they could just look at the IP address and actually follow the breadcrumbs to it. But you try getting into anything that I own, you'll have a hard time, because I don't write things down in the way normal people would. But I think that turned out well, don't you? Now we have a character. We'll call him Roby. No. Let's see, what name should I give him? So now that we have the character all together, so there's basically the main steps of what you would do to actually create a character, have him, and start him out. Of course, there are many different ways to do this. I did it in the most complicated way possible. But where's the fun in making anything simple? There isn't a way to make anything simple, really. But I do hope that people who watch this later find it very entertaining. And I'm not signing out just yet. I'm going to do a few more things, like move him around to the right. Should I change the background to black? Let's see. Shows all my flaws. I kind of look at him and I feel unnerved. Good. Alright. Yeah, that's slightly unnerving. Just what I was hoping for. Not outright disgusted, just unnerved. Okay, and do need to clean off some of this though. Eraser. But alright, there we go. Of course, I'm not going to fix everything about him. It was more of a test. I kind of like the white background, so let's put it back to the white. Alright. I'll deal with him later, but no, I like him. File, save as, on my computer. So many steps. Stream. We'll name him Ree. Actually, Ree is spelled R-I-H-E. I like Ree. Alright. Got those. Got that one. Yeah, I need to finish her. I already got her eye. And got her necklace drawn. Just need to add more of her character. But I do believe that's all that I'm doing for today. Thank you for joining. Let's go back to my main camera. Hello. Well, that is all for today. So the things that I'm working on right now are basically my artwork. As you can see, drawing does pay the bills if you have enough viewers to actually earn income. Uh, but if you do want to support my Patreon, do support it on well, I believe it's Renaissance something. Well, if you look for Fair Shect on Patreon, you should be able to find it. Uh, Either that or Renaissance. Let me take a look before I kind of go woo. Let's see, what is the Patreon site? So patreon.com/Renaissance. Ah, so it is Renaissance. My bad. Alright. Uh, but if you want to look for me on Patreon, it is Fair Shect. If you're searching for Fair Shect, you should be able to find it. Fair Shect. Yeah, so if you look for Fair Shect, you will be able to find it, but you can support me on Patreon. I do have a pledge tier, a helper tier, a provider tier, a support tier, an alternative support tier, a faithful support tier. If you do support me on any of those links, I will be glad, and I will actually move forward towards the projects that are suggested through, well, Patreon and all that. Let's go back to my YouTube. There we go. But I will support them more often than I am currently. But because I haven't had any supporters, haven't had anybody to sort of point towards my direction, any point helps. I do take I cannot speak tonight, can I? But I do take commissions on artwork. As I said at the beginning of this video, well, stream, video, kind of the same thing, but that's a moot point. And the thing is, I will do them for artwork. My going rates, I do not have a going rate. I do have set things, and depending on when I do it for someone, I will be doing a painting of their house, landscape, pet portraits of any sort. Doesn't matter if it's a fox or any sort of thing. But I still have to have a clear directive and 3 different angles of everything that you do give me. I'm still working on people and portraits. That is one of the harder things for me to accomplish and do. Well, as you can see right here. No, it isn't! No, I do characteristics of people more so than I do realistic drawing. Sorry, it's a little bit late here. It's 11:26. But if you have anything that you want me to do contact me through my email. I do look at it periodically, and I've been trying to sort of be supported by my art in one way or another, either through Patreon, through YouTube, through anything. I'm just looking for multiple different streams of income, and as most people are. This world is not kind. That's why I mine cryptocurrency as well, because the world has not even offered good rates for employment of any sort anywhere of regular jobs. I look at regular jobs, and they should pay more for them. The companies that do drive them do not pay them enough. because the minimum cost that I would suspect people should be paid is at least 12 to $14 an hour. And I mean minimum across the United States. Or, well, not really anywhere. It depends on anywhere. But in the United States, it should at least be $14 an hour. Not 9, not 10, not 11, not 12. $14 an hour. And on top of that, not just, and on the high end, it should be more like $30 to $45 an hour for management. Uh, it should not go any higher for retail places, but yeah, that's besides the point. And I do wish to create my own print shop and all that stuff. That's another tangent and side story that I do wish to have my own sort of print shop where I paint, I do things, and of course, it won't be open every day of the week, of course not. But it'll be open on the days that I do wish to be there. And what I wanted to do is actually have it be a place that is by artists, for artists, supporting artists. So it's not just a normal place. And of course, I do need to start somewhere, and I do wish to be supported by my art and by the things. Oh, I'm really feeling it. Sorry. No, I wish to be supported by my art and all the things that I do know. Because everything interests me. Everything! It's like, you see something there, interesting. See something there, interesting. Because I do read a bunch of manga, comics, all that stuff. And anime and yada yada. I do look at other different perspectives through those movies, shows. And what more? Yeah, I need to sign off. Otherwise, I will blank out. Well, this is Tech Artist signing off for today. Well, Tech Artist 41. I had to choose. Well, see you next time on Tech Artist 41, and hope that many people and many more people will help me in my endeavor of trying to make my comics, make my cards, and hopefully make my life be supported by my art in multiple different ways. So, hope to see you guys next time. Thank you, and this is Tim signing off. And start.